Hello, everybody. This is the Daily Robot podcast. I'm here. I'm Elias.
And I'm Sandy.
And today's podcast is dedicated to the up-and-coming women in STEM.
Yep. Girl power. All the way.
Girl power. That's right. So, to make it a special episode, we got to have a special guest.
That's right.
And who do we have?
We have Caeley Looney with us here today. She is a mission analyst and satellite engineer, CEO and editor-in-chief of Reinvented Magazine, and self-proclaimed space princess.
Hey, Caeley.
Hi, Caeley.
Hey, guys. Hello. All right.
Good to see you from a distance.
Nice to meet you from a distance. So, Caeley, introduce yourself. Is that all accurate?
Yeah, I definitely all accurate. Like Sandy said, I'm a mission analyst or spacecraft engineer at L3 Harris Technology. So I mostly work on all of our small satellite missions, which is really, really exciting. I do all the mission design, so the orbital mechanics, a lot of the attitude control stuff, as well as some of the propulsion. And then, like she said, I come home, and by night, I'm the editor-in-chief and CEO of Reinvented Magazine, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that's based out of the Space Coast, actually, where we work to empower young girls to pursue their passions within science and technology by providing them with the role models that they need to kind of encourage them into those fields. And then most recently, I think we'll talk about this a little bit later, I self-proclaimed space princess. I recently was a part of our Princesses with Power Tools calendar, which was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. But yeah, all really cool stuff, exciting. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're so happy you're here. And I love this calendar, the Princesses with Power Tools calendar, if we can talk about that, actually. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I have one on order. I haven't seen it in person yet, but it is a magazine dedicated to, there we go.
There it is.
She's got hers right there. Calendar dedicated to women in STEM and promoting the idea that you can be a princess too. And Caeley is featured in this as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, which happens to be my favorite Disney princess.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, so cute. But the different women who are in this calendar, every one of them is extraordinary in their own right. There's a computer scientist, Arctic climate scientist, pharmaceutical scientist, neuroscientist, fossil preparator. I think that's how you say it. Software engineer, inventor, bat conservationist. I mean, just these women are incredible. And every one of them looks just absolutely beautiful and amazing in this calendar too. I think it's a really cool cause. And I'm excited that Caeley got to do this.
Me too. It was actually purely coincidental and half unfortunate, but half fortunate for me. We had one of our princesses have to drop out last minute due to, I guess, one of her photographers got COVID, so she couldn't reschedule or something like that. And so I was asked, you're running this. You're probably the only one who can do this last minute. Do you want to dress up like Belle and take this photo? And I was like, heck yeah, I do, living out my Disney princess dream. So I immediately was like, okay, I'm a mission analyst, so a lot of what I do is just reading textbooks and trying to find the right equation. So I pulled out my whole collection of engineering textbooks from college, some of which I never thought I'd ever have to open up again, drug them all to the local library, and there you go. It was super, super fun. But yeah, all these princesses are truly amazing. We were sad that we couldn't get any tradeswomen this time. Like you see kind of on the cover, she was a truck mechanic, Cinderella, who made sure her trucks worked past midnight. But this year's lineup was really awesome. We actually have two spacecraft engineers. Sydney Hamilton's the other one. I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but she's really awesome as well. And then I think one of my personal favorites, besides Sydney, is Kristen Lear, who's a bat scientist. If you ever get a chance to talk to her, she's the absolute coolest person. She could tell you every single kind of bat. There's over thousands of them, but yeah.
That's incredible.
That is incredible. So this calendar that you are selling on reinvented.com? magazine.com.
Well, we just closed our sales. So I think we're about to open up and let people do digital downloads of the calendars. The rest of our calendars will be going into classrooms, which is really exciting. I think we'll have over 400 of them going directly to teachers all over the country, which is great. But yeah, we just shipped out the other 600 or so you guys should be getting yours soon.
Great.
Nice.
What is the full URL of magazine?
So it's reinventedmagazine.com/princesses with power tools. I believe. But I can send it to you.
That's great. Yeah. And this goes to support the magazine, which of course is a 501c nonprofit.
Yeah, and all of the majority of the fundraise for this specifically go back into the magazine and specifically funding our 1-for-1 program, which is where for every one magazine someone buys, we donate another to girls within low income or underserved areas who otherwise wouldn't have access to these kinds of STEM education resources. So we always try and funnel a lot of our funds into that program so that we can continue to donate even more outside of like that 1-for-1 match. So we get so many requests every year for donated magazines.
Oh, I can't.
But the rest will be going back into building out our calendar program for next year, so we can get even more into classrooms.
I love it. And I looking at the site, I know the pre-sales are closed, but you still can donate a calendar to a classroom for $20. So if any of the listeners are interested in doing that, you can go to reinventedmagazine.com/princesses with power tools, and you can donate a calendar to a classroom. So
I think it's a remarkable cause. And I love this idea for the Princesses with Power Tools calendar. So to support the cause, Sandy and I are going to give 2 calendars to 2 listeners.
Yep.
All you have to do is post some comments about the show, what you like, what you didn't like about the show, any questions in our YouTube page, and we'll pick 2 lucky winners the next couple of days.
Yep.
And then we're supporting the magazine. You're going to get an awesome calendar in return.
I love it.
So we love it. I'm dying to find out. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur. I love STEM, and you put it all that together, and you're doing this. It's a fantastic cause. What was your inspiration?
For the magazine specifically, it was, I grew up reading magazines like 17, Marie Claire, Teen Vogue, and all of those are really great. They definitely hit the femininity bit right in the head there. But, I went to college, I got my degree in aerospace engineering, and as soon as I graduated, I got one of my last copies, I think, of 17 in the mail. And it was like the top 10 like hottest boys for the summer issue or whatever, and Justin Bieber was somewhere at the top, and I was like, I don't really care about this. I want to read about other things that are more related to what I'm doing. And there are magazines out there, right, that do talk about engineering, like Wired or Popular Science, but how often do they put a girl on the cover? How often do they tell stories about, people who look like me? And so I actually, this was more of a, selfish thing. I complained in one of my big, Women in STEM Facebook groups, and I was like, why don't I have a magazine that I can kind of like read in the bathtub with like my glass of wine and just like relax for the day? And, that was about women in STEM. And this like, this group, like hundreds of girls were commenting overnight. I woke up to like a Discord server had already been started. And as soon as I joined, they were like, okay, Caeley, what do we do now? This was your idea. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just wanted this magazine to exist. I didn't mean for like me to make it. But, at that point, I was kind of like, 100% in it and was like, all right, well, I guess we make this magazine. So we did, and we're on our 6th issue now, but it really all just kind of started from me wanting something to read that like had me or someone who looked like me in it.
I love it. I remember, for listeners, Caeley and I met at the second NASA social that I went to for the Orion Ascent Abort 2 mission. And in the beginning of the NASA social, we had to introduce ourselves and explain, kind of a little bit about who we are and what we do. And I remember, Caeley, you standing up and explaining that you were working on creating the first print magazine for women in STEM by women in STEM. And the entire group, the 40 plus people, just erupted into applause and everything. And everyone was very, very excited about it. And I thought that is just very cool. Everyone there thought it was just amazing. And I kudos to you for doing that. I think it's a fantastic cause.
I think that was back when I was still shy. My marketing team Caeley out there. When people ask her like what this magazine is, she pretty much just it's a magazine and nothing else, and like hides behind her backpack. I think I've grown a little bit since then. I mean, I'm talking on this podcast, so I'm doing a little bit better. But yeah, that was so much fun. We actually featured that event in our first issue, I think. So.
Yeah, I saw that. I love it.
Excellent.
And these magazines are beautiful, by the way. I mean, these are not cheap or anything. They're nice, thick pages and beautiful photos. I mean, for those who can see this on YouTube, I mean, these are just incredible. The whole magazine is just absolutely beautiful, and it's a really, really amazing way to inspire women, well, and young men.
Thank you.
That's right.
I'll let my my creative team know that they are highly praised.
Yes, very much so. So kind of going along with our theme here of up-and-coming women in STEM, obviously Caeley is one of them. But we thought we would feature a couple of people that have been mentioned in the magazines. One in particular who is, I want to say she's going to change the world, but honestly, she already kind of has. I mean, she's really just an incredible person. This is a 19-year-old her name is Alyssa Carson. She was featured in, I believe it was issue 4 of Reinvented Magazine. And this 19-year-old has already accomplished more than I probably ever could in my entire life. And will very likely end up going to Mars. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm fairly certain she will. She's incredible. She has attended every space camp that exists in the world.
She's the first person to ever do that too, right?
Yeah, the first person to ever attend every space camp. She's been to every space center in the entire world. I was reading the article in the magazine. I kept telling Elias here, I'm like, you got to hear this. This is something else she did and something else. She knows 7 languages. Mm-hmm. She's been to 26 countries. She was invited in 2013, so 7 years ago, when she would have been like 12 or 13 years old. She was invited by NASA to be on the Mars Exploration Rover 10 panel in Washington, D.C. And she was there with these NASA scientists and engineers and things. And I mean, here, this little bitty thing, held her own. I mean, she's just, she's incredible.
Yeah, she truly is. I don't know. I'm sure you guys follow her, but she posts interviews all the time, and almost every time, like, I want to watch the interview, and half of them are in a different language, and she's like completely fluent, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But she is absolutely insane. She's also done some other like cool things. Like she's one of Olay's reps, which is really awesome. A huge advocate for women in STEM. She's also been in a Super Bowl commercial, which is like insane. So she's not just accomplished within the like world of STEM and space. She's also like willing to do pretty much like anything and everything, and she was absolutely amazing to interview. She was like so down to earth. She actually goes to school at it's FIT, I think.
Yeah, Florida Institute of Technology.
Yep, which is right here. So one of our staff writers actually got to sit down with her in person to do this interview, and she said it was like a once in a lifetime thing. Like wishes they could be best friends now.
Oh, I love it.
She's remarkable.
Yeah,
a prodigy for sure.
She's written a book too. She wrote a book a couple of years ago. I think it was called "So You Want to Be an Astronaut," and the whole point of it was to inspire other young people to follow their dreams and go for what they want. She kind of talks about how she followed her dreams to do what she wants, which is ultimately to become a Mars astronaut. But the book also talks about just following your dreams in general, and she wants to inspire young people to follow whatever dreams they have. So yeah, I mean,
I think she's a perfect example of, following your dreams and achieving everything you set your mind to. So
who would you say would be your dream interview for Reinvented?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'll put you on the spot to answer.
It's been really funny because when I first started this, I said my dream interviewee was Megan Smith. And then she ended up, we ended up, magically making this connection, and she was the one on our cover for the first issue. And then after that, it's always been like, okay, well, who's the next person that you'd love to interview? Lamar Freed. Okay, she ended up being on cover too. For a while, I was super excited. And Sandy, I'm sure you know Dr. Jen Golbeck, who is on cover 3, who actually is not famous for being a professor of computer science. She's actually famous for being the mom of the Golden Ratio, which is a really amazing group of golden retrievers who I guess switch back and forth between Maryland and the Florida Keys. But she was really amazing. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm big into space. I think that anyone kind of going on the Artemis mission, and you guys kind of pushed me to do a little bit more research on some of these women. I did not realize how impressive they all were. But either them or Caeley Looney, is that how you say her name? I think that's how you say her name.
We're terrible with names on the show.
Yeah, we butchered a couple.
Listen to podcast 1.
But she's amazing. I had like a little mini freak out when she accepted my LinkedIn request to connect the other day. But she's kind of doing all of the stuff that I wish I could be doing at NASA now. So maybe she'll be next.
She would be incredible. If I ever had a chance, I mean, I'm not a writer per se. I don't write for the magazine or anything, but if I ever had that miracle opportunity to do that, any one of the female Artemis astronauts, I mean, especially, Christina Koch or, oh my gosh, I mean, or Mir, the fact that they've now done all 3 of the first female-only EVAs and broke records for being in space for the longest as females. And I mean, they're just it's insane. They've already done so much, and then they're gonna get to do more.
Yeah, I was actually looking. So I think my favorite, I've been looking into some of the women that are going, and I think my favorite so far has been Kayla Barron. The thing that I find the most cool about her is that she used to work on submarines. So this is like the total opposite for her. She's explored the depths of space, and now she wants to explore like the realms or the depths of the ocean, and now wants to go into the realms of space, which I think is probably one of the coolest experiences someone could ever have, is being able to kind of see, everything like that.
That's a good point.
She's incredible. I love Stephanie Wilson. She's a veteran of 3 space shuttle launches. This woman has been around. She's the leader you want in this team. She's amazing.
Any one of them would be incredible. I would just love to pick their brain and find out, what makes them tick, what inspires them, how do they get to where they are. I mean, they're just incredible. Really,
I mean, you can look at some of the bios up on the Artemis page, and it's very obvious that they are like deserving to be the first women on on the moon. All of them deserve to be the first woman on the moon, on Mars, and all of that. They all come from such like incredible backgrounds, and they have like 1,000,000,001 degrees, and they're all doing such amazing things. I really appreciate some of the ones that are not military backgrounds as well, who come from like, born and raised into NASA sciences, and now are like fulfilling their dreams of becoming an astronaut, going through kind of the NASA programs, working on spacecrafts, and now being the ones to run them, which is really cool for someone like me who is working on spacecrafts now, and I don't want to go to space. I have no like plans to ever want to go to space. I'm afraid to get on an airplane, but I have a lot of friends who went into the space sector because they dreamed of becoming an astronaut one day, and thought that, by becoming an engineer and doing some of that kind of attitude control stuff, or working on spacecrafts, that would be kind of the next step after that. So it's really cool to see that like that's an actual path you can take now, which I think is not something that's been super, super common historically.
Very true.
I can kind of see some of these women being interviewed on Reinvented Magazine. What do you think?
Yeah. I would think it would be incredible.
Me too.
I hope so.
If they're listening, hello. Hold on, I think so. I put together a little. There we go. So I put together a little video montage of them, and by doing that, I did a lot of research, and I was just like you. I felt so small. I felt these women are remarkable, doing remarkable things. They continue to do remarkable things, and they're inspiring. They're inspiring men and women. I mean, I'm so proud to live in where I live right now. They're amazing.
And we did. We posted a video last night through Daily Robot on YouTube that it's a musical video tribute to the women of the Artemis astronaut program. We will also do one for the men, the male astronauts of the program. But just doing the research for this episode and everything, we really just got super inspired by how incredible they are. And like literally, as we were putting it together, there were points where I think both of us were almost in tears just watching.
I will not admit or deny. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have no actual evidence, so we'll just say for now that you didn't. But
yeah, they were remarkable.
They are.
So I can see in one other person being interviewed on Reinvented Magazine potentially. How about this lady we heard of, Caeley Looney, creator of Reinvented Magazine? Yeah, no, that'd be pretty amazing. So, what's next for Reinvented Magazine, right? So you have a full-fledged, highly respected magazine that's growing, and it's getting more and more exposure every day. You have a digital version, you can download it, so you're up with the times. You're interviewing relevant women that make that are relevant in STEM today and going to be in the future. So what's next? Have you thought about what are you going to do next with the magazine?
Man, that's such a tough question. We just held kind of our big kind of strategic planning leadership team meeting. And my team has so many amazing ideas. I think in the short term, we've gotten a lot of requests to actually put the magazine in Spanish, especially because we work with a lot of schools within those areas that work predominantly with Spanish speaking students. And we're, I'm part of the Tecnolochicas program through NC WIT. We get a lot of requests through that as well. So that I think is one of the big things that'll be coming this year. Nice. We also get a lot of requests for a younger version of the magazine. So somewhere in the next few years, we're thinking of doing, like there's a Vogue and a Teen Vogue. So something that's more geared for the middle school, elementary school audience. Because a lot of our content right now, as you've read, it's a little bit on the mature side, definitely meant more for high school, early college. And then the other big thing that we were working on, and the pandemic actually gave us a prime opportunity to get more involved in running virtual events. Mm-hmm. It's been a really phenomenal way to connect with students, especially, as everyone's staying home. It's been a great resource, not just for teachers, but for some of the other nonprofit and library school programs that we work with, to, while they're, transitioning their lesson plans, just throw up one of our STEAM Dreamers panels or, throw on one of our workshop series. We have a lot of 15-minute little, how to deal with, getting rejected from college, like, those kinds of things. So I think we plan on continuing to expand out some of those programs as well, especially over the next year moving forward, as well as potentially bringing some of those more to life, bringing them more into like a hands-on, in-person type of experience when events start coming back. But I do think that we have a lot of exciting things coming up. Our audience grows, every month. We started with pretty much just family and friends reading issue number 1. And now we have over 10,000 readers all over the world across all 50 states and over 25 countries, which continues to blow my mind away. I'm the one who kind of packs and ships out your magazines. So when you get them in the mail, it's usually me who put them together, and I love seeing where all of them go. We actually just shipped a whole bunch of calendars off to Romania, which was a new country to add to our list. So yeah, definitely I hope a lot of exciting stuff coming this year, as long as the world doesn't kind of repeat 2020, which we'll see. But so far, Reinvented's doing pretty good. So.
No, I'd say it's doing better than good.
Thank you. Yeah.
I loved earlier in the year, I think it was over the summer, you guys did a virtual 5K as well, that I thought was really Caeley, I know you're a runner too.
Yes.
And I'm also a runner. And so that was really fun to participate in, actually. I thought that was really neat. And there was a t-shirt and a medal and everything. I thought that was a really fun event too.
Hey, I signed up for my first 5K.
You did. You're doing your first 5K in April.
Fault, but
yeah.
That's exciting.
I look forward to it.
It'll be the Run Disney Star Wars 5K.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one's cool. They always have super fun medals. Every year I try and get my partner to run the princess one with me because that was my first half marathon. So that's one that's like nearest and dearest to my heart, but he's not about it. So as soon as I was like, well, how about the Star Wars one? He got very into that, so much so that he let me dress him up like a Porg last year.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to send you some photos, but we have some matching Porg costumes.
Yes.
So,
Star Wars.
yeah,
You
so that
said the
means
magic word.
You're going to dress up too, right, Elias?
Yeah. I'll just run as a stormtrooper.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or something. That would be fun.
No, it will be. I'm excited about it.
So are you a Mandalorian fan by any chance?
Oh yeah, big Mandalorian
yeah.
fan. However, I refuse to call him Grogu. I can't get on the Grogu train. He's still Baby Yoda.
I still call him Baby Yoda too.
No,
it's cuter. I don't know.
We love that show. Yes. So, but you know what? Even in Star Wars, you may have some women in STEM behind the scenes. So there's an idea. Hint, hint. You know.
We do. There's actually an entire article, I think, in issue 2 or 3 about that. We did get to talk to some of the female animators and engineers who bring the Star Wars magic to life, which was really exciting.
Yes. Outstanding. Well, that was a lot of stuff.
It was great stuff.
So, what are you going to do after the show?
Like right now?
Yes. Now that you did Daily Robot TV podcast, now what else there to do?
Probably go eat some lunch.
Okay.
That'll probably be number 1. Then I don't know, maybe I'll go and watch a Star Wars movie because you're making me feel pretty inspired.
Nice.
And then I think I have a couple more magazines and calendars that I have to pack to mail out. That's usually what I do on my weekend, so I'll get some of that done. But otherwise, pretty lazy Sunday today.
Sounds
love
good.
It. Same here.
I love it.
Other than
you need one of those every now and then.
Awesome guest. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's really special to have a remarkable person that's done remarkable things, continues to do remarkable things, and us being both in the STEM field, we're inspired, and I want to wish you continuous luck, and we want to have you back on the show.
We would love to. I mean, Caeley, you are just so inspiring, and I love the empowerment. You just exude empowerment towards young people in STEM and women in STEM, and it's just an inspiration. I know I just used that word, but
yes, I love it.
It's true. And we really appreciate you coming on the show today, Caeley. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was super, super fun. It's always an awesome time to get to talk about some really empowering female role models, especially in space, which is like the nearest and dearest to my heart. So
I love it. And with that, Caeley, thank you for being on. Sandy, you're awesome.
Thanks.
And until next time, thank you for listening and watching Daily Robot TV podcast. Yep. Make sure to follow us on all the usual platforms. And remember, we're giving away 2 of these awesome calendars that will support Reinvented Magazine.
That's right.
It's a good cause. If you want a calendar, you have to post a comment in
on YouTube.
That's right, what she said.
On this video.
Tell us what you thought about the show, right? If you have questions for us, for Caeley, leave it, and we'll pick a couple of lucky winners.
Yep.
And
Anything else? Next time.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.